What is up, guys? It's your boy Sick Cactus. Feeling terrible, but we're gonna push through because today we're gonna be going over everything you need to know about the Festival of the Lost 2025 event that has just gone live within Destiny 2 during the Ash and Iron major update. Guys, there are some significant changes between this year's Festival of the Lost and previous years, and so let's get started. So, the first thing you need to do is head to the tower and talk to Eva Levante. She's gonna get you started on the Festival of the Lost quest, and then right after, she's gonna give you the Masquerader's helm. This is very important. So, it's an actual piece of armor, and this is gonna be how we put on our Festival of the Lost masks. Whereas previous years, you'd have a special mask that would be like 0 power. No, in this case, again, it's a full-fledged piece of armor. And then, as you can see right here, you can go to the appearance section and then put on any mask you've unlocked either this year or in previous years. Of course, I had to go with the classic of Prince Aldrin screaming, as you can see. And a quick tip involving masks, you can actually open up the Eververse store and grab the Weasel Error mask for free. Well, essentially it's just a few glimmer, so definitely pick that up. Now, aside from being able to customize the appearance of the Masquerader's helm, as any mask you have, there's another big difference this piece of armor has compared to other pieces of armor, and that is a completely different mod socket on the far right. As you guys can see right here, this essentially lets you change the Masquerader's helm into whatever armor set you want. So, if you actually have like a 4-piece set bonus that's very important for your build, for example, you're running the 4-piece Solstice set that gives you healing for getting solar kills, obviously, when you equip the Masquerader's helm initially, you'd lose that 4-piece bonus. But you can simply come to this mod socket and change the bonus to reduce the cost of the Solstice, set bonus by 1. Again, essentially turning this helmet into whatever set you want. It's the same effect because now it'll only require 3 armor pieces and you'll get that 4-piece, Solstice bonus back. I did run into a bit of a glitch. It was not working with the Iron Banner set. Like, I had one other Iron Banner piece on and I tried to get the 2-piece bonus and it wasn't working for that. But aside from that, again, make sure you are changing your Masquerader's helm into something that's actually going to give you a set bonus, guys. Now, once you've done that, and again, you've changed the appearance and you've put your mask on, then we can start playing activities because you do have to be wearing a Halloween mask in order to get candy. Candy is like this event's special currency, and it's just gonna randomly drop on the ground when you kill enemies. So, in terms of activities to play, the first one we're gonna showcase is kind of the big brand new featured one, the Haunted Altars of Sorrow. So you can load it up from the event menu right here. And this is going to be the one you want to start on because that's what the quest requires as well, guys. So, in terms of what you're actually doing in the Haunted Altars of Sorrow, it is a bit different than the normal Altars of Sorrow that takes place in this same area on the moon. You're going to see a Sir Skullduggery spawn here, then he requires candy. So nearby, altars locations are going to start to glow, 1, and then there's going to be the next wave 2 at a time, and then 3 at a time, and more enemies are going to spawn from them. Now, you go up to these spawn areas, you slay out on enemies, and when you kill the big yellow bar enemies, as you can see, they're going to spit out treats that you can collect. The maximum you can hold at one time is 30. But you're also going to notice enemies, and this is true throughout the entire game right now in portal activities and so on, enemies have hats. So there's 2 different kinds of hats. There are orange hats, and if you shoot those hats, they cause a big explosion. And then there are blue hats, and if you shoot those hats, it will actually shoot them off of the enemy's head. Then, as you can see right here, you can actually go and pick up these hats and put them on, and you'll literally be wearing a hat as you can see when I emote. Now, if you look in the bottom right corner of your screen, you can see you get a hat damage buff. That's right, collecting and putting on these hats will increase your outgoing damage. Now, by how much? Well, as you can see from this gameplay I got later on within the Caldera solo ops, I was doing 13 damage. I put on a hat, I'm doing 14 damage. Like, it's not a ton of extra damage, but it's not nothing. Keep in mind, you can actually put on multiple hats. It will stack, I think, up to ×3. And so, you know, if you do see a guy with those blue hats, shoot them off, pick them up, they are going to make you do more damage. So, keeping all that in mind, in terms of the objectives of the Haunted Altars of Sorrow, again, you're slaying out on enemies, you're picking up these treats, and then you're depositing them back where the Sir Skullduggery spawned. Now, once you reach the required number of treats banked, then you're going to get a new objective, Alignments Flipped. So, all the areas that enemies are spawning out of, initially it's just going to be one, there's going to be a Shrieker as well as an Immunity Shield Ogre that spawn out of them. You need to go and destroy all of the rocks above this area. You can go and invoke the Hive Magic. That will turn the Shrieker from shooting at you guys to shooting at the Immunity Shield Ogre. That will lower the Ogre's Immunity Shield and let you kill that Ogre. And that's like the final thing you need to do to complete one full wave of this activity. And then it'll go to the next wave, where you'll have an additional altars area that enemies will start spawning out of. Now, while this is all happening, as you can see right here, you can also sometimes see off in the distance objective markers. These are void crystals. You go over to them, you shoot the crystals, and they're going to spit out a bunch of treats as well as sometimes some relics, like we were getting scythes and heavy ammo from these as well. Now, in between waves, again, once you've, planted or deposited enough of these treats, you will actually have the opportunity to buy upgrades just like Onslaught. So you can see me buying and upgrading turrets to help with your defense of this area. And that's kind of the main thing here. Instead of Altars of Sorrow that moves around the map, with the Haunted Altars of Sorrow, you really just have one area you're mainly defending, one key area that you're depositing on wave after wave after wave, guys. And really the only other thing of note is that if you deposit a bunch of treats at the same time, it will spawn these like pumpkin heads that you can pick up and throw at enemies. They don't do a ton of damage, so not super necessary to really go for those, at least in my experience. So that's really what you're going to be doing, and then eventually, guys, once you've done all of that enough, you've deposited, you've gotten through the waves and so on, then you have the Scare-tacular finale. So, a big warning here, guys, there's actually a soft lock that can happen that will prevent you from beating this boss and getting your rewards. But there is seemingly a way potentially around it. So, to initially start damaging this boss, you need to interact with all 5 of these invoke hive magic like symbols on the ground. That is going to cause all of these shriekers to start shooting at the main boss in the center and lower his immunity shield. So at this point, guys, if you damage this guy too much, too fast, while the shriekers are still open, then as you can see, the shriekers are gonna stay closed. That is the soft lock. Now, to get around this, what you instead need to do is just take it a little bit slower on that initial damage. You want to damage Sir Skullduggery, but not too fast, guys. Eventually, if you lower his health a more appropriate amount, or again, this is what people have been saying, then when he gets that half health and his immunity shield comes back, you're going to have another chance to invoke the hive magic that's going to respawn these shriekers that are going to lower that immunity shield again and let you finish him off, guys. Then once you do, you're going to be able to claim your rewards, and in terms of these rewards, you should get at least, 1 or 2 new Festival of the Lost weapons. You can see I got 2 tier 5 of the Festival shotgun, but also something I've been noticing is that for most activities, frankly, you're going to be getting like a free Masquerader's helm. So in my case, it was tier 5, but again, you should pretty quickly get an upgrade, a tier, and ahead, or sometimes 2 tiers ahead of the one you got from Eva Levante. So obviously you probably want to switch to that one, better stats and so on for the remainder of this event, guys. So that is the main new activity you're going to be farming. It is going to drop festival loot pretty much every time. Now, the other unique activity that was added with this event is the Red Rumble. So all this is, as you guys can see, is Rumble, but first of all, I could actually matchmake with a team, right? Normally, Rumble doesn't let you do that, and so if you want to go in with 6 people and then just farm each other or whatever, you absolutely can. Now, on top of that, you're going to notice that while you're fighting other players, there's also going to be a massive headless one that roams around the map. If you do damage to this guy, as you can see, the headless one is going to drop ammo, especially heavy ammo, as well as motes. Picking up motes gives you 1 point each. So like if you DPS the crap out of this headless one and go and pick up a bunch of motes, that is the equivalent of getting a bunch of kills. And so you can kind of have a loadout more about boss DPS and essentially ignore everyone else in Rumble and just try to get a bunch of motes from the boss. Obviously, the heavy ammo the boss is dropping will probably help you get kills on the other players, but still, it is something to keep note of. He can sometimes also drop relics like that, a scythe, and so it's Rumble with this headless one walking around, damaging this guy will drop goodies for whoever can pick them up. So again, this is a special festival activity. It will drop guaranteed festival loot at the end of it. Now, these 2 festival exclusive modes are not actually the only way you're going to be getting Festival of the Lost loot, because we then have normal portal activities. So, the first important thing to note is that there are special modifiers active for every portal activity because of the festival event. First of all, we have 10-gallon mode, so combatants may be wearing hats. So again, no matter if you're in Pinnacle Ops, whatever, enemies might have hats. They either explode if they're the orange ones or they're the blue ones you can pick up to get a damage bonus. And on top of that, you have the Trick or Treat modifier. This raises your score quite a bit actually, and it says defeated combatants will occasionally leave jack-o'-lanterns behind, shoot them for a surprise. So that's what you see in the background gameplay right here. Turns out the surprise is mostly going to be these seeking lava balls that attack you, just like the Bane that has those. So they're pretty annoying, honestly. Like sometimes you're going to get those like pumpkin heads you can pick up and throw at enemies, and then other times you're going to get a bunch of candy, but more often than not, they're harmful, not hurtful. They're going to be those like seeking magma balls. But again, it does increase your reward multiplier by quite a bit. You can actually take them off. They're in the boon and event modifiers section within the portal, guys. Now, the first thing I did was just go into a normal Caldera solo ops. I just wanted to see if I would get an extra piece of festival loot, and I did not. Even though I've got the festival modifiers active and everything, as you can see, I didn't get a single piece of festival loot, but what I did get is, interestingly, I got for Heliostat a Festival of the Lost bonus drop. So when I go back to my portal menu and I hover over Heliostat, as you guys can see, I now have this symbol saying that if I achieve a B grade or higher, I will get a Festival of the Lost bonus drop. So this is very different from Solstice, where Solstice had like one activity for the entire day that was featured and would give you, a special bonus drop. For this one, you need to go around and move around the portal, and by playing the portal, you're going to unlock more of these bonus drops that are just going to be on a random activity. Now, you may want to check through all of your different, portal options, because as you guys can see right here, I actually had 2 Festival of the Lost bonus drops for this Battleground Core mission. So we did that, and as you can see at the very end, I did indeed get Festival of the Lost loot. Now, interestingly, actually, you can see that I got 3 drops. So I only had the bonus drops for 2, like +2 bonus drop, and those I believe are the 2 weapons. However, I did actually get a holofoil weapon, the holofoil shotgun, so maybe it was that, but I also got the mask. So I got this exclusive like festival mask and 2 festival weapons. So that does mean you have the chance to luck out and get additional drops more than what is stated in the portal menu, guys. And so that finally concludes the activities you can do to get Festival of the Lost loot. It's either the Haunted Altars of Sorrow, the Red Rumble that guaranteed drop them, or you can shop around the portal and look for those bonus festival loot drops, guys. Now, on top of that, you also have some ways to just buy Festival of the Lost loot. The first way is from the traditional event page that we know and love and or hate, frankly. Probably more hate these days, but seriously, you just open this and as you can see, you have your event rewards track. You're going to increase this by simply playing the game and also by doing your daily and weekly challenges. This is going to last for 2 weeks. So you are going to have 2 weekly challenges over the course of the Festival of the Lost event. Remember that you can also have the reroll chips. You want to be rerolling those on daily slots you've already completed to get a new daily. And then of course you can spend those like event tokens in the event shop right here and just outright buy whatever weapons you want. But there's actually another tab for this event page that we've never seen before. This is exclusive to Festival of the Lost 2025. It's what you're seeing right here. You can buy masks as well as special event bonuses. So, as you're going through the quest from Eva Levante, like after you beat that, Haunted Altars mission, you're going to go back to Eva Levante. She's going to ask you to buy one of these bonuses as part of the quest, guys. This is really interesting because these bonuses, like, they don't appear on any of your armor pieces. This is just like a static bonus that is applied all the time. The first one, the cheapest one you unlock, will make a small, like, weakening blast appear whenever you pick up candy. And you can see that in the background gameplay. Like when you see those blue motes, that indicates candy. Sometimes you get purple motes, which is like a bunch of candy. And again, you just get a little explosion every time you walk over them. You can only have 1 at a time. So there's 3. Overall, the best one is definitely the one that gives you Devour. Like that's actually going to be insane. You pick up candy, you get Devour, especially for, builds and classes that can't usually get Devour. But that is going to cost a lot of candy, and it should be noted that at Eva Levante, you can actually just straight up buy Eerie Engrams, which is going to reward you with the Festival of the Lost loot. You can see I can just buy tier 5 Eerie Engrams. I get a tier 5 SMG for 750 candy. So, it's going to be up to you whether or not you want to save up your candy and go for that big, like, Devour bonus. And again, I think that's going to be the best one. Like, that's healing, that's grenade regen. That's going to be, again, really, really effective. But that same amount of candy can also buy you, like, 3 or more rewards from Eva Levante. So maybe you just get the God roll and then you don't need to play anymore, right? Like, it's kind of up to you what you want to do, guys. Especially because Eva Levante offers more than just Eerie Engrams for the price of candy. You can also get different exotic armor pieces in specific armor archetypes, just like Ada 1 with those like 20 tokens you got with the launch of the Edge of Fate. And you can even just straight up buy the exotic class items if you're missing certain combinations of that as well. Now, the one additional thing I'm going to say about candy is that, again, you've been seeing it spawning. It drops on the ground in a ton of the background gameplay. It's just those blue motes. But you actually don't need to be that crazy about picking up candy. If you see candy across the map from a guy you shot, you don't need to go and get it. it's actually going to appear in your postmaster. So any candy you don't pick up will just go to your postmaster and you can grab it there. So you can just play all these activities as normal, unless you are, specifically picking up candy for Devour or for the Overshield like the other bonus, then you want to go out of your way. But aside from that, you can kind of ignore candy. It's just going to go to your postmaster and then you can use it to buy whatever you want. So guys, that is going to cover everything you need to know about Festival of the Lost 2025. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, found it informative. If you did, please remember to help me out by simply rating and especially sharing this video. If you guys want to see more Destiny 2 content similar to this, don't be afraid to slap that subscribe button. If you want to get in touch with me and keep up to date with the latest channel activity, the best way is to follow me on Twitter at RickCacus. That is linked in the description down below. Again, I hope you enjoyed the video, and as always, have a good day.